Hi, Fuji. How are you? Hello, everyone.
Hello,
And
hello.
Matilda. Lena, who's joining us, is just going to be there in 5 minutes, but we can already get started. So, how's your training for the Worlds going?
I'm doing okay-ish. Um, yeah, I guess like everybody else, I'm doing 3 puzzles a day if I can, or if I have the time. And then yeah, basically just trying to make as much time
Perhaps that
for
killing
my
talented
puzzling
viewers
as
can make a
possible.
difference.
I wish I had time for 3 puzzles per day.
Hello,
I think I'm
I'm too
getting
tired to
about
write a
three
funny
puzzles per
message.
week, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm very envious of people like Hannah and Ellen who are like every day posting like 3 or 4 puzzles. But yeah, I also think especially the faster people, they can do like 2 puzzles at the time that I can do one. So maybe that also has something to do with it.
Yeah, exactly. Whoever is pretty fast, then they have the chance to like do more in less time. But yeah, I mostly basically just stay up very late, and that's basically my solution. And then also get to practice in like terrible lighting. Yeah.
Yeah, are you in a group that's
Hello! Guys,
puzzling
can
at
you
nine
hear me?
o'clock at night in Valladolid?
No, I'm actually I think on at 5-ish, like sometime around late afternoon.
Okay,
We're in the same group
you
actually.
see these the
I
puzzle
checked it out.
pieces?
Oh yeah, so for
This is
individuals, we're
from
in
the
the same one in the afternoon. So the afternoon
13,015,500 piece
evening, kind of
puzzle
like around
that
six
I
o'clock, I
started
think.
doing, and then I
I'm in
forgot.
pairs at
I
nine
thought I will
o'clock.
finish it, but like I
I
had to
can't
work,
remember at all, to be honest.
sleep,
Like I checked it out and I
and I
was like
didn't
very,
finish
very
it. So
excited. And then like with every single number, it just fell out of my head.
okay, there we
I
go. I
have it
put
in
that
my
a bit
calendar. I
louder.
will see it when I
So I
get
didn't
there.
finish it. So now it
But
just
I think
stays
I'm having good
there.
practice because when I
Hopefully, it's
Monday to
not gonna
Wednesday, I can
interfere with
only
my puzzling.
I come home usually around 8 o'clock from work, and then I do tend to
And
start a
this
puzzle
guy is
around
gonna.
9-ish.
Oh, I should drink some
So
water. Okay,
I think I have
BRB.
some experience there. So I see Lena has joined us. Welcome, Lena. You made it. Yeah. How's your giant puzzle coming along?
I did not quite finish the first 4,500 pieces yet, but it's getting there.
Mm-hmm. How are you storing it?
I'm breaking it up into smaller pieces that fit on a paper A4 size. So like, yeah, just normal paper. And then I'm gluing the smaller sections directly onto the paper so that
Okay.
they don't move around. Yeah.
Wow. So it's in total it's an 18,000 piece puzzle, and
Yes.
then but
Okay,
each
I'm back.
section is 4,500.
Yes.
So yeah,
Okay, and then doing smaller
what are they
sections.
talking
Okay,
about?
that's an interesting way of doing it. I haven't
Okay, we
done
need
such a big
clock.
one yet, so yeah, I'm interested to know ways to tackle that. What's the best way to tackle that over a longer period, and also keep it yeah, safe and secure until you need to attach
See.
those sections again.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have
Clock.
any experience with putting it together at the end, but storing the smaller sections like that works really well. Yeah.
Okay,
I
let me
saw
know what's the
that
balance within
Juju
these people
from
talking.
France, so the 8-year-old boy from France who's doing the 40,000 Disney collection. Whenever whenever he finishes a section, he and his mum.
Clean
So each
packaging,
section is
yeah.
4,000
Well, they said that there
pieces.
will be
They do
stickers on
break it
this
up
one,
into
so we'll have
A4
to.
size
Also,
pieces and
Narita,
kind of
welcome back
stack
to
them
Stop
together
Crumb
and
Crew
put them into
Pyramid.
a
Hope you enjoy your
box
stay on top.
until the
How's this guy
end.
looking?
Yeah, I mean, my one is an
I need to
older
move this a bit more.
Ravensburger,
It's
so
barely
it
showing the
doesn't
edge of the
hold
table.
together quite as
But yeah, I
nicely as the
have
newer
this, and
ones.
this is what I was making.
So I have to glue it, but yeah.
Okay,
The
and what do you
poster is
use for
dying.
glue?
But this is what
I
I'm
got
making
a
from the
cheap
big
puzzle
puzzle I
glue off
got.
of Amazon.
And then that's the
Okay,
pile with the
Nothing
sky
special.
pieces.
yeah.
And this is the pile that
Good.
I already know where
Yeah,
they
so I
go,
see
but now
in
I'm
the
gonna have
comments
to
that some people
replace them.
who are not
I need to
participating in the
finish it
competition are going
maybe
to be
today. I'll try
puzzling
to
along
finish
with
this
us. I
section.
think I think Nana did that last
But I
week,
had to drop
so she
pieces, a
has a
bunch of
puzzle
pieces
ready,
back in
and
the
maybe some others are
box.
going to do that too.
So
So when I do the countdown,
annoying.
they're going to join as well. All right, so I think we're going to be ready to be starting shortly. I'm just going to browse the comments and
Okay, I have to type
let's
done.
see. if
Here.
we're ready for the competition.
Oh
Mona
jeez,
is
I'm so
having
tired. I
sound
woke up
issues.
from the
She's
nap
writing in the
half an
chat,
hour,
but
20
I will
minutes
just
ago,
write
25
whatever
minutes ago.
instructions you are saying into the chat as well, so that is going to make it easier.
Get that out of the way. I mean, why does this not stay the way I want it to stay? Good.
Okay.
I want it to stay. Fire.
Okay, yeah, so a lot of
Not
comments already in
crooked.
the chat on YouTube. So thanks to everyone who's joining us.
Damn
We
it.
also have some Americans tuning in for the first time. Somebody asked, "What is this great song?" So the
Back to work. Oh
introduction
my god,
song that we played
unpaid
before the
overtime. Like,
competition,
what
it's
is
an
that
AI
even? That
generated song.
exploitation
My
shit.
husband asked to the program to make a song about speed puzzling, and it chucked out a few options, and that's one of them that we liked.
You are going to have to upload that separately onto the Speed Puzzle channel and just have like the song available for people to listen, because I actually also got messenger messages in private asking like what it is.
Okay, let's see.
Okay,
I
yeah,
hope
so
it's
I'm
an
seeing
easy
as well that
puzzle.
somebody
My
can't hear me,
brain
but
is
I just did check.
sleeping.
My husband just checked the settings as well, and apparently
Either that to
the
clear
settings
the
are
things
all
I need to do, or
fine
no
from
vacation
our
time could
end.
go to Spain. Oh dang!
Okay, yes, and if you are
But
so
doesn't
those who
it
are the
work that way?
participants,
Like
if
you
your
ask
name
for
doesn't match what you've
vacation,
registered with,
and
you
if they
can just write
tell
a
you that you
comment
get that vacation, that's
in the
it.
chat as well. Also, if you are using a second device, we have 70 people connected, which
Doesn't care.
sounds like
No.
that's everyone. All right, so you may go ahead and unwrap the puzzle.
Unwrap the puzzle. Gosh. Oh wow, okay. Dutch welfare state. What?
I recognize this puzzle.
Oh wow, I've never seen this brand before. Obviously, I've never seen a lot of brands.
Perhaps they're
Yeah, so
killing
there's
time to do
also
us to make a
some
difference.
very thick plastic stickers
I bet
on
this
there.
puzzle is
So
going to
please go
feature a
ahead and
ship,
remove those
maybe
as
a
well.
smaller boat,
So you
but
may
it
use a
sure is
scissor or a
Katava's
knife, whatever
realm
you
has to
prefer.
feature some kind of maritime theme
I
with
found that
plenty
they
of cargo.
weren't so good to peel off like you can on the Ravensburger ones.
It has a bird. Is that counts, Matt?
You might need
That
something
counts
stronger than a
waste?
fingernail.
I don't know why I say Matt because
So
the
yes,
sisters. Oh no.
Johanna, Voria, you can unwrap your puzzle now.
Oh no.
So unwrap the puzzle and also remove the plastic stickers.
Oh no, the stickers are too sticky!
Now, as you are looking at the top image, you'll notice that there is some text on the image. There's the logo. So some of the images
Oh, this is Trefl
obscured.
Prime!
If you want to use the full image, there is, after you open the box, please keep in mind there is a poster inside the box, so you can pull that out at that point.
Oh, fucking hell.
If you try to use the box image, you will notice at some point that you can't. You will have pieces that you won't be able to place from the image. Okay, so everyone needs to have the box unwrapped and plastic stickers removed.
Gosh. They are so sticky. Oh, God. Oh no.
So someone said they'd like to hear the crowd singing the speed puzzling song at the World.
I just want to
That would
stick
be
it
fun.
on the inside. It's difficult to remove this box.
Okay,
Okay.
so when you have removed the wrap and the plastic stickers, place the puzzle back on the table.
Wow, but the
and
box
then
feels
we'll
nice.
Get ready to count down.
Well, countdown.
If you haven't already, you may write the done message
Welcome
in
back
the
to the
chat
Chopper
so that
Pyramid
when you're
Ways.
finished, you
I
can
have to
just hit
go
enter,
puzzle.
and we will have 2 hours.
I'm gonna put the
for the
headphones away
competition.
already. I'm not gonna look at the chat, as always.
Okay, so counting down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Gosh.
So remember, there's a
So
post-it
difficult to open. Wow. That's the most plasticky plastic ever. Let's take the post-it.
So firstly, I struggled for about 15 seconds to remove the box, the lid from the box.
These red pieces
But
are
I
gonna
have
be
another
quite easy
puzzle from
too,
this brand
actually.
and from this style, and somehow it's just really sticky. So I didn't notice anyone struggling. Maybe it was just myself. But the puzzle we are doing today is called Dutch Welfare State. It's a Trefl Prime, so it's in a different box shape than the typical Trefl puzzles. It's also got this soft velvet touch, so it has a different feel to the pieces, and it's also part of the UFT collection, which is the unlimited fit, which means you can also remove the edges and connect it to other puzzles from this collection. So here we have the puzzle. So you have like a crane in the top hand corner, a lot of like geometric angles, some interesting pictures here, someone being fed by a baby bottle lying on the couch with
Well, these edge pieces, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do
the doctor from the plague
black
watching
first, because
over,
there's a lot of
the
black.
devil in the corner, a person riding a stork, a wheelchair blazing down a slope
Very
with
nice
flames coming out
feel.
behind. Some interesting details there. There is a description from the artist Mouse Bullhorse, which I will read out
freebies,
later.
I'll take
But let's
those.
check in on the participants. And tonight I'm going to start at the opposite end of the alphabet because I felt like that, yeah, I was kind of rushing towards the end. So instead of starting with A, we're going to start with Z for Xana.
That is very considerate of all the people that have names at the very end of the alphabet. Me with W, I can
These
very
are all
much
flat colors. If you could
appreciate something
see
like this.
exactly how
Always.
matte this black is, it's kind of crazy actually. The black is very
So
matte.
we have Xana, and she is from Latvia. Then we have Victor from Poland, Verena from Austria, Uta from Germany, Tobias from Sweden, and Teresa from Czechia. So it looks like, yeah, everyone's just doing the standard flip. We can see Xana has pulled out the border pieces to one side, as well as Victor. Tobias has a taped off section. So that's something I need to check the measurements, and I need to start practicing on a board of that size.
Meanwhile, I can actually tell the story of this puzzle because I'm actually pretty familiar with this one, as it has been used at the Hungarian competition in June. This was the puzzle that they used for the beginner category.
Oh, really?
Yes, this was the beginner, and
Gosh,
the
you can see a few
advanced
times the one
was
there
the
on the
same kind
paper.
of
Okay.
artwork and the
That's-
same brand, but it was the one with the tiger.
Okay.
Okay.
This
I
pink
also have the
stuff.
results.
Okay, this is the wing.
I was curious of like what
with
time
that
they
stuff.
had in like the beginner category. So
Wing.
it's really those that either haven't really
The
puzzled before, or that was their
pink and
first
blue
competition, or stuff like that. Well, the first one was 49 minutes
Then
and 43 seconds. And then second
X
place was 1
fucking
hour and
fine.
14 minutes.
Excellent.
Wow, that's quite a difference.
Yeah.
But that was with the tiger. That wasn't with
Okay,
this
turned off the
image.
That
aircon.
was with this crane.
I turned off the
That was
aircon and
the
now I
one.
feel like
That
I
was
need the
these
aircon.
times.
Well,
Yeah, I thought it would be easier than it was, but I mean, there's a lot of similar colors here, a lot of angles, and a lot of yeah, images that kind of don't make any sense. But I'm going to read what the artist says. So the piece of art depicts a colorful landscape of the Dutch welfare state. Burning roses represent the fall of social democracy. The style was inspired by ancient Japanese prints. However, instead of illustrating cranes, the artist has chose to integrate birds inhabiting the Netherlands.
Beiges.
A big heron. So
Beige.
sorry, that wasn't a crane, it was a heron holding all the money, and a
That's at the
stork
corner
taking care of
here.
the poor in the presence of a plague doctor.
And the green.
So there you go.
It is a nice interpretation. I'm a big fan of like artwork puzzles in general, not for speed puzzling, I must also say, but like for fun. I like doing art and paintings and like yeah, I have like a whole collection of like all kinds of paintings. So it's always a very nice challenge, I think. But yeah, there's a lot of tricky parts in this puzzle, I would say. From like my experience, like I had a lot of pieces that seemed like they would go somewhere and then they belong
Okay.
to the other side of the
That
picture,
one is here.
which I think
That
is
guy's there.
like something that can be
This
tricky.
yellow is also.
Yeah, I found that the pieces, at first I pulled out one colored section. I thought, okay, yeah, I'll do this color. But then I realized it was taking a lot longer than I expected. So we can see here that
One's
Tobias
here.
has worked on the border
Side.
and has some,
That one red.
yes, yeah, putting together the border. Whereas Victor looks like he pulled out some creamy colored pieces. But yeah, will be interesting to see I'll be very
Okay.
interested to see where people start
These guys
building.
are at the top.
Yeah, there's definitely different strategies that you can go along. Like definitely one is like yeah, building the edges and trying to fill it in. And then the other is to just try and find the blocks. But because of the many similar colors, that might be a little bit tricky. It is interesting though,
Oh,
already the different strategies that people are using.
So here's so Sabo Henrietta, that's Henrietta from Hungary. Maybe she was at the competition, maybe she's done this one. That would be an advantage for her. Then we have Susanna from Germany and Steffi H from Germany. So we have two Steffis tonight from Germany. Yeah, so it looks like Steffi H is starting somewhere in the middle. You can see some nice piles where she sorted the colors, green, blue, black, and she's starting with a lighter color, possibly the cream or yellow.
Okay, so this guy.
So here's Siobhan from Ireland, Sophie from Denmark, and Sana from Finland.
You're already getting some guesses for the best time or the first finisher time, which is Richard says 43 minutes, Joanna says 38. Then we have a very specific 39:30 and a 45-ish so far.
These are the flowers.
So Teresa's working on the border. Looks like she's also sorted out the greens off to one side.
I also very much like how she organized the top of the box to look at it. That's actually a new way that I haven't seen, to have like the top a little bit like sheaf on top of it.
Yeah, I think I've seen Kati Reiner do that. I think she doesn't use a box holder. She just tips it up to one side like that.
That is actually a pretty good idea. For what I have been doing when I don't have like a box holder is basically just have my water bottle in the bottom and just like hold that up. But yeah, that's actually, it might be a pretty good idea for later. I might try that.
Nope.
Yeah, so someone now says 50 minutes because the puzzle looks pretty difficult. I am pretty confident about a 40-ish time for for like the first finisher.
Here's Rika from Finland. I saw in her story today that she's actually left-handed. That's something I hadn't noticed before. I wonder how many left-handed speed puzzles there are. That makes a difference. Maybe it makes a difference to where you place your box and where you pull from the pile. That's something I've been focusing on. I've been thinking about recently because I feel like I have such a mess at the beginning to think about, like, I'm a right-handed, so perhaps I should be building on the left and having my pieces on the right that I can grab it quicker. But yeah, of course, it's different for a portrait-oriented puzzle compared to a landscape puzzle.
I'm actually also left-handed, so I can tell you that, like, I think the box placement doesn't really make a difference for me, at least. But like, if you're training for your weaker hand, so for right-handed people, if they're training for their left hand, that's usually much clumsier than our right hands, because like left-handed people live in a right-handed world, if you know what I mean. So like our right hands are a little bit more skillful. And from what I have been seeing, like for left-handed speed puzzlers, their right hand does way more than for right-handed people. Like, it's a very big generalization, but that's what I have been kind of observing.
Go for yellow.
Yeah, that would make sense that left-handers are more often have to do things with the right hand. So I like how Patrick from Switzerland has his little name tag up there with the speed puzzle logo on there.
That's very sweet.
That's so cool. Just like for Worlds, and he's got his little mascot there. Here's Quinta from the Netherlands. Maybe I wonder if any of the images on there make
black is the least
relatable
common
for
color.
the Dutch people. Maybe they know
black.
some of the references from this,
Least common
because
color.
here I don't really understand what the references are apart from some native birds. So Quinta's pulling out a lighter color. Is that white? Yeah, it looks like she's starting with the white. So there's white on the neck of the heron and like the underside of the heron, as well as the stalk is mostly white. So 2 birds to work on there.
Now I have a bunch of these. With no black and
So here's Olivia from Poland, Nina from Germany, and Mooney from Germany. So you can see that Nina has like the pile of green off to one side, so a bit of sorting there, and the board is completely done.
what?
Now, Nina is a very fast puzzler. She was second twice in the Yukari competitions, and she also placed very highly in the at the trio competition.
It also seems so organized. Like the way her puzzle is shown now is that, like, you have like the edge completely like empty, and then basically like it seems like it's all sorted by colors already.
Yeah, because we're at 13 minutes now. So most people are working on the border or have finished the border and starting to pull out like a color to work on. Yeah, so Nina Schicks was second in trio for the solo competition. So Mooney's pulling out the greens. Sophie is working on blues and reds. And Teresa has done a nice blue section. I'll pull up the image again so you can see a bit closer.
Okay, I should don't do that. Get these pieces out of here. It's bad. Bad puzzling. Bad puzzling.
So the thing is, there's no just like one color that's in one area, you know, like if you're doing the white, it could be white here, here, or here, or there's also green here or green on the other side. So it's a tricky one to pick which color to start with to kind of like focus on and not get stuck on, because it could be in too many places at once. So I actually started with this light yellow creamy color here in the middle.
There.
And my time was 1 hour, 21 minutes and 50 seconds.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's not an easy puzzle. It's way trickier than what it looks like at first. Because I remember that when I was watching the live competition, like they opened the puzzle and I was like, wow, that's actually such a beginner friendly and like nice puzzle, and it's actually way trickier than that. And especially as you could see people working on it, that they were struggling, a lot of them. So it is tricky.
So here's Mona from Germany, Mary from Germany, and Marie from Sweden or Norway. No, sorry, that's
I
Marie
do.
from Norway. Next up is Maria from Sweden.
Ah,
The most represented country today is Germany,
but
right? If I remember correctly.
Yes, we have 16 participants from Germany today.
It is a nice and varied participant list today, though. We have a lot of countries, including like Portugal, United Kingdom, USA.
Yeah, we also have our first participant today from Russia. So we'll get, yeah, so I'm excited that we're always adding new countries to the list.
How many participating countries have you had in total already?
I think the biggest competition we had was 25 countries, but this one I counted
What's this?
yesterday. We had 20 countries, so we might be at 21 or 22 by now. But
Nice.
yeah, really exciting the spread of the participants.
What's the furthest that your puzzle that the puzzle have got to?
America,
America.
over the Atlantic. So here's Maria from Sweden. So often her cat makes an appearance at some point. There's Maria from Slovakia
Who's specs in
and
it?
Maita from
Not seeing
Belgium.
it. Who's specs? Where are you?
So Crew Feet says they did this puzzle in 1 hour, 53 minutes, 29 seconds.
Yeah, I think it's not uncommon to have like pretty
Ooh.
high times with it as well. I think
Ah,
I
and
also
that's
was
his hand?
somewhere around an hour and maybe 15, 20, something like that when I first tried. But then again, I'm also not one of the super speedy people. So
Yeah, it's interesting comparing like
Okay, so this
Teresa and
other
Sophie
approach
at the
is not-
moment. I mean, Teresa is building, yeah, she's got parts of the border done, but they're not placed entirely where
Oh,
they
see.
belong. And then she's working on a blue section, whereas Sophie has a bigger space and has already placed everything where they roughly belong there. But I'm sure at some point we'll see that Teresa just like connects the pieces and suddenly there'll be like this big block.
all of a sudden, she does have a lot of the blue areas done already, though.
I like how Maria Ruskanova has big piles of colors. You can see she's taken that extra time. She's got the white section all pulled out, the blues and the pinks, and she's yeah, going to do it systematically. So she's done like the creamy arc in the middle, the creamy like strip in the middle, and is now working on the black section.
Let these go.
I'm also always so
Yeah.
very impressed
these
by
nice?
people who get to be this organized. I'm one of the people who had to learn to
Yes.
embrace the chaos. Like I never have the patience to do all the sorting. And I actually had a pairs practice with a friend who was like somewhere in the area here. And she told me at one point that like she starts sorting when she gets lost, like really sorting, and she gives herself that 1 minute to actually like sort out her thoughts as well, to take like a little break, give her that 1 minute that she kind of sacrifices so that she can actually pull herself together a little bit, which is a pretty good approach or a pretty good thought that I didn't think of before, which is pretty cool.
So here's Amaya from Finland, Magdalena from Germany, Magda from Poland
Yeah,
and
yellow pink.
Madara from Latvia. Yeah, so this one's definitely moving at a slower pace than previous ones. At 20 minutes, we just see borders and like one color being pulled out or one color being built. So here's a list from Germany, who was my teammate in trio. There's Linda from the Netherlands and Linda from Latvia. Lenka from Slovakia. Yeah, so I like how Linda is focusing on the top section, on the pinks. And you can start to see the silhouette of the heron forming. So she's done the beak, and you can see, yeah, the nice shape. So it's nice to get an island done. Yeah, so Lenka's done the border, working her way from the outside, attaching pieces to the border as she goes. But she's also got a lot of pieces placed all over in the middle, but it looks very intentionally. It doesn't look like those are pieces that she's just grabbed to start building, but looks like she's doing the pick and place method.
Yeah, it looks pretty much like that. There is a system to it. That can also be a pretty good strategy. But for me, at least, it only works if I have the edges. That's the only way that I can actually tell where something is, because otherwise I have no idea how big the image will be in the end. I always have a very hard time judging that.
It seems distinct. In the blue.
In the meantime, we got a question on YouTube, which is, how do you choose puzzles for the Jigsaw Jams, Michelle?
How do I choose them? Yeah, what I like. So I think I've yeah, I try to pick puzzles that are a bit more colorful. I do want to have some challenging puzzles in there because it's easier from my side of view, my perspective, if the times are spread out a bit more. Of course, we had some really fast puzzles recently, and you can see that like it's really hard to keep track of the finishes. But generally, it should be a puzzle that I could sell later on in my shop and that people would be happy to have in their collection. But of course, it's not always going to suit. I know some people sold their stitch puzzle straight afterwards. Some of the Finnish people went to a puzzle swap and sold their stitch puzzle immediately. They didn't want to ever do it again. Yeah. But yeah, so my goal from the beginning was to use a range of European brands, not just Ravensburger. There will always be Ravensburger mixed in there as well, but I think there's so many local companies, there's so many French and German brands, and I'm getting to know some of the other countries as well that I think we should also highlight them. Poland also has some really great puzzle brands, and of course, the less known the brand is, the more likely it is that people have a first true attempt and that we have a bit more of a level playing field. So yeah, that's also what I'm thinking of. What's also really important to me is it shouldn't be a puzzle that everybody already knows. So I'm very active on Instagram, and I see what kind of puzzles people are posting. And if I've seen a puzzle, 10 times, it's not generally one I'm going to pick. So hope that answers your question.
That was a pretty thorough answer. I actually had, you were mentioning that people were giving away the stitch puzzle, as soon as they were done with it. With this puzzle as well, the way I got my copy was that literally one of the competitors were walking out of the competition field and they were like, I don't want to see this anymore. Do you want it? And that's how I have my copy.
Well, I really like it from the look of it. Like it's different. You can look at a puzzle and enjoy the colors. Like I thought, it's kind of a fun puzzle because of all the colors and the interesting images, the interesting characters on there. But for example, my daughter tried to do it the next day and she gave up halfway. She just said, I don't want to do this puzzle. Yeah. So this one's definitely more on the challenging side. And so, of course, I also try to have a range of difficulties as well. So on the screen, we have Laura from the UK. We have Christian from Poland, Kirsty from Finland, Kirsten from Germany, Julia from Austria, and Johanna from Finland. So yeah, some seem to be using the poster. They've got that next to them. Yeah, because at some point you realize, like, I had picked up a piece and there was somebody on a couch, and I was like, I
What's that
don't see
piece,
anybody on a couch. I was like, am I going mad? Or like, well, why don't I see this? And then I realized, oh, it's probably behind the text. It's probably behind the orange design. Generally, I don't use posters. What? Rika, you posted
Rika is done.
done. I think you must have accidentally pressed something there. Okay, so let's see how everybody else is going.
Yeah, Rika has accidentally sent it.
Okay. I would be very impressed if she was finished now. So we've gone from Z, we're now up to the J's, and we're at 26 minutes. So we also have Jessie from Portugal, Jessica from the USA, and Jenny from Finland, Inka from Finland, and Inga from the Netherlands. So you can see Inga has also gone for the pink section at the top and has got the silhouette of the bird. Looks like Jessie has gone for the creamy colored strip in the middle, which Christian is also working on too, but not in its place, just off to the side. And yeah, and so Inka has also done quite a big section in the middle. So everyone's saying that, wow, 26 minutes for finishing this one would be epic.
That would have been really epic. In the meantime, I'm actually browsing through people, the ones that you are not pinning onto the screen, and Tobias is doing very impressive progress in the meantime. He's got most of the green sections done already.
This is the bottom leg.
And the picture is actually starting to take shape.
Work out. First.
So we also have
bottom
Eva
leg.
from Latvia, Graham from the UK, Freya from Denmark, and Fenna from Belgium. Yeah, so it's interesting. Everyone's starting in different sections. You know, often with puzzles, we kind of see people following the same pattern, and maybe one or two people do something completely different. And here we see some starting with pink, some with yellow, some have got islands in the middle, others are building off the edges, and others are just placing pieces anywhere where they belong. So I think, yeah, this one, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of like Misfit Toys. It's one that's breaking the mold. It's not the typical speed puzzle, and I think this could really shake up the rankings a bit for this one.
Yeah, there might be some unexpected finishers. But it also might be like the difference with like what color they pick is also that might be the difference, that there's like the very distinct colors, which is the blue, the pink, the green, the yellow, but they are all in relatively the same proportion, I would say, or they are like in a different layout, so they might be choosing it depending on how chaotic they look, or just personal preference. Like I, for example, I always leave yellow for the very end because I have a very difficult time like telling the difference between shades of yellow for some reason. So I always pick like whatever color I can for last. Yeah, so it might be personal preference in this case as well. But yeah, it's a tricky puzzle, that's for sure.
Yeah, so we're just coming up to the 30-minute mark. And I've been getting some tips from Lena that people in the A's at the beginning of the alphabet are making a lot of progress. So we're at E for Eric now. E for Eric from the Netherlands, Emilia from Finland, Ekaterina from Russia, and Dietmar from Germany. So like how, yeah, Eric's working on the greens and yeah, has done some of the stalk. So let's check out these speedsters at the beginning of the alphabet. Because there are a lot of people with A, B, and C names. Okay, let's check out Danica from the Netherlands, Claudia from Germany, Chiara from Italy, Birgit from Germany, Bibi from Denmark, and Barbara from Austria. So Danica won the pairs competition on Sunday. Oh, we see Claudia has this nice green triangle in the middle. Oh, and Chiara's done, yeah, more than half.
Pretty much the top is done, except for the bird.
So Birgit is participating in her first competition. She's from the German Puzzle Association, the Deutsche Puzzleverein. So happy for her to join us today. And there we see it. Arcadius is flying ahead, only has gaps to fill in. He's got huge green chunk done, the yellow strip in the middle, the pink at the top, the wheelchair with the flames, the red section at the bottom. He's literally just got some blue pieces, maybe like, okay, maybe let's say less than 100 pieces to go of blues and pinks. So looks like he's got the advantage tonight.
Now that I see, because I have a couple of people pinned on my screen, basically I would compare him and Tobias at the moment.
Okay, so we also have Ireland from Argentina, Astrid from Denmark on the screen, and Annelies from Belgium, and Arcadius from Poland. So Poland has so many strong participants. We'll have to check in on Victor as well. I'm sure he's doing really well. I'm sure his hands are flying all over the place. So
it's actually very interesting. I have just pinned Andrea and Chiara next to each other, and they basically do almost exactly the same order of filling in the puzzle. They're almost exactly at the same stage, and they're basically working on the same areas, which is pretty interesting.
So we have Anna from Sweden, Andrea from the US, and Alex is actually Johanna from Germany. So Johanna is 15 years old, and she was in our trio competition, and she got the bug and wanted to participate in an online competition as well. So really happy to have her join us. So Andrea also making really good progress. Okay, so
that is pretty much the case, that once you actually go to a live competition, at least it was the same with me, that basically like you go to one live competition and you get the taste of it, and it's pretty hard to get rid of it. So that's when you get like really excited about actually participating online as well, I think.
Yeah, she was so excited. She came up to me afterwards and she was just so excited and said, "Oh, if you have any more puzzles, I'd love to participate." And yeah, I think yeah, she's got the bug that we all have now.
Very good.
So the last participant at the very front of the pack is at the very front of the alphabet, Amy, joining us from the USA, also in her first competition. So we have 3 Americans tonight: Jessica, Andrea, and Amy. So I'll put Tobias back on the screen. So yeah, he's coming in behind Arcadius. It looks like they've done it in a similar order. They both have like the white of the heron left over.
Interesting, because like I don't know, my instinct would be to like go onto the whites pretty early on. But it seems like most people haven't.
I think it was Quinta who started with the white.
Yes.
Yeah, so here's Teresa has done the white already. Yeah, Tobias does like busy puzzles, so this one is up his alley.
It is also fun to see that Tobias has probably the WJPC table size marked on his table.
So it looks like Arcadius has a puzzle board balancing on a smaller table. You can see it kind of wobbling as he's grabbing the pieces and
Yes.
placing. So it doesn't seem to be holding him back, but that's also an option. If you don't have a table big enough, make one. So Teresa and Sophie also making good progress, but quite a way behind.
We are getting some cheers from the YouTube chat. Some are cheering for Jessica, Ayelen, Andrea, Arkadiusz, Andrea again. Yes, we are getting close to 35 minutes right now. Or we're already over it.
So it looks like Inga and Christian are at a similar position, but still quite a lot of pieces to go. So Arcadius, 30-ish pieces left. Tobias, maybe 40 pieces.
Andrea, maybe 50, 60. Chiara, the same. Someone says SJ's guess is going to be very close. I have to look back what SJ said. Before 3930 was SJ's guess. Might actually be accurate. What I found very nice with these puzzles, actually, with most of these Trefl puzzles, actually, the newer ones, not the very basic version of them, but like the ones that are like a slightly higher quality, is that like the pieces have pretty nice distinct shapes. So like even if it's very similar colors, you can still go along the shape pretty well, at least in my experience. So it's a nice puzzle to work with. And with these velvet touch puzzles, some people were completely freaked out by it, and some found it very, very nice. That was also a pretty divisive thing from what I have experienced. I like it quite a lot, to be honest. I have, I think, 3 of this series. So
Arcadius has 3 pieces left.
just 2 and 1.
And Arcadius is done. Wow, congratulations. Just on the 40-minute mark. Well done. A new winner. We haven't had him before on the podium. Congratulations. With a
Congratulations.
very impressive win. Looks like Tobias will be second in line, but
Looks like it.
yeah, but Chiara and Andrea are also coming up in that pack.
You can already prepare in the chat. At least that's the idea that we have received before, is that if you have any question for the podium placed competitors today, you are welcome to write that in the chat and on YouTube as well, and we will try and do like a selection of them, even if not all of them, during our little chats with the podium places.
So I'll just tell you about the artist. His name is, I think, oh, doesn't. Yes, it's a man. Artist Maus Bulhorst, working and living in Arnhem, the Netherlands. Maus Bulhorst creates editorial illustrations for Dutch media. To him, an illustration is not a literal translation from text to image, but it creates a deeper level. He lures the viewer with bright colors, clear lines, and compositions in which the framework itself is communicative as well. But it starts just here. Patient pays off. In an exclamation mark, a question mark may be hidden. Mouse provokes thought. He explores the abstraction of the figurative. How far can he diverge from natural forms and still maintain a human figure instead of a batch of blocks? Perhaps inspired by his works, one may pass a crane, but instead see an arm with a gripping claw. So I find often these artistic descriptions too abstract.
I think you have to be like very much into art to actually be able to understand most of it. At least that's my experience with these descriptions. There was a question on YouTube of what Arkadiusz's time exactly was.
I can't say that. I can't say that for sure. So because the timestamp that I see in the Google meeting, it only has the minute. So I see that he was done at 1940, so 7:40 p.m. When I looked at the camera, it was, so when I looked at the YouTube live stream, which has the timer running, it was 40 minutes something. But that will all be done later. So when we have, when my husband does the results, he goes through and checks the start time at exactly what second that I started the stream, the countdown, and then he can work everything off that. But that comes with the official results.
Andrea is also very close to finishing at the moment, from what I can see, and also Tobias.
Yeah, so Quinta is also making good progress, Danique as well. But yeah, so it looks like second place would be between Tobias and Andrea.
Looks like it at the moment, yes.
Lenka has also done the majority of the puzzle. You can see just a few gaps to do.
Teresa is also doing pretty good progress.
So it looks like about 15 pieces for Tobias. Andrea, bit hard to tell from the quality of the webcam, but maybe also about 15 to 20 pieces. So we have 120 people watching the live stream. Happy to have you all with us, and yeah, thank you for your comments and for yeah, joining us.
We have a pretty good audience today. Also very active in the chat, everyone. Thank you.
So I want to get a closer look at Andrea. So I'm just going to minimize the others for a moment.
Tobias has maybe about 5 pieces left. And done.
Done. Congratulations to be a second place.
Congratulations.
Very close. And Andrea just right behind.
Oops, almost the entire puzzle went with her hand. Almost done. I think 6 pieces left. And done. Congratulations on 3rd place.
Congratulations. 3rd place to Andrea from the US.
So we have our podium.
So just on the rough times that I have here in the timestamps, we have Arcadius, first place Arcadius, 40 minutes, Tobias 46 minutes, and Andrea 47.
And another reminder for those on YouTube and those who are following on YouTube, if you have any questions for those on the podium that you would like to know, feel free to add it into the chat, and we are going to use some of those for when we are chatting with our podium placed competitors.
So Victor has about 30, 40 pieces left. Nina also coming up to the end. But yeah, looks like there's a still ways away before we have the next finisher. But yeah, so it's kind of open now. So now that we have the top 3, there's the rest who are coming in are all yeah, maybe 3 to 5 minutes away. We have Victor, Nina, Lenka, Janik, Kiara. Probably Inga is in that pack as well. Yeah, so Fenna was, her camera was off before, but it seems to be working again.
This is definitely a challenging puzzle. That we can see, I think, from like everyone's progress.
Yeah, so Victor, Nina, Lenka, Kiara, Janik, and Inga are all kind of in the same position. Okay, so Arcadius, may we have an interview with you.
Can you see me?
Yes, now we can.
Hi.
Hi, Arcadius. Nice to see you. Well, you've been in a few competitions, but I've only ever seen your hands, so nice to see you there.
Yeah, I
So
think it's my 10th one.
your 10th one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have you done this puzzle before? Because you really
Yeah.
went ahead.
I did a small investigation because I had this puzzle in my collection, and the measurements of the box were identical. So I know it must have been something from this series, mm, Velvet Soft Touch. I know that there are 6 images from the series, and I have one of them, so there is a pretty high probability that we'll build this one. So I wanted to try this at least 2 times, and after the first approach, I considered this puzzle very frustrating and not really easy. But after the second time, I shave off my time for about 40 minutes, and I wanted to try it once again and again and again. This was my 7th approach.
Wow. Okay.
Nice.
I did something similar to Emilia Lieberman's challenge
And
in these previous 2 or 3 days.
Mhm.
was this now your fastest try at the puzzle, or have you managed it quicker, like out of competition?
I broke so many records yesterday and today. My fastest 500 jigsaw puzzle was around 48 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and I was completely shocked by my time yesterday. It was 47 minutes and then 42 minutes. I didn't completely know how I cut off these 5 minutes, but I think it's all about the image. When you do this once again, and you completely remember the image, it's so easy because of the vivid colors and distinctive sections. uh, I know that it's the best to start from the green section because it is the most part of this green areas are connected. uh, so I almost every time started from this section.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, if you have, I mean, yeah, it would be funny if it wasn't this puzzle when you had practiced this puzzle 7 times and it ended up being a different one. So, what was your impression when you saw it was this one? Were you relieved? Did you have a good laugh? What was your reaction?
Uh, Big relief because there was a small probability that a high probability that it won't be that puzzle, but at least it would be the same cut, the same series and the same brand, so I would be prepared.
Yeah, that is true. It is a big relief, though. And yes, Kiara is done in the meantime. Congratulations.
Yeah. So, would you mind telling us your story a bit? How did you come to speed puzzling?
I think it was through Karen videos in 2 years ago. Then I saw World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships and saw that many puzzle YouTubers, training for this competition, and I try to solve 500 pieces, 500-piece puzzle and measure my time, and it was 1 hour and to 28 minutes. So I felt that I can be pretty good at it. Of course, I built a lot of jigsaw puzzle in the past, but never below 1,000 because it didn't look interesting to me. But 500 piece puzzle are perfect for speedrunning, I think. 1,000 is too much, too long. My
Yeah,
back hurts.
it is a very typical thing, I think, for those who are like pretty good at puzzling and they puzzle for fun, that like you don't really want to do anything under 1,000 pieces because it seems too easy. And then you get into speed puzzling and then it becomes a challenge. And then
Yeah,
yes?
I also have a lot of huge jigsaw puzzle, like this Mickey the True Original from Ravensburger, this 40, 4000.
Mm-hmm.
It's halfway done.
Nice.
But I have no more space in my room, and I need to stop buying new puzzles. Uh, mm, so far, my newest jigsaw puzzle are from the competition, and it should stay like that.
What I would also like to ask is like, how is speed puzzling in Poland? Like, I haven't heard much about it, or like I it hasn't been on my radar. Like, do you have competitions often? Have you been to like live competitions? Like, how is the puzzle scene in Poland?
Uh, I can't really find so much jigsaw puzzle championship in my neighborhood. Maybe in some smaller towns around Poland, but in Warsaw there was one jigsaw competition this year in March, organized mm, by magazine Przekrój, but we don't have any national championship or something like that. So Euro Jigsaw Jam was very awesome to me. I can take part in that uh, every 2 weeks.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. It is a good opportunity. In the meantime, we have some finishers like Lenka, Danica, Inga, Teresa, and Victor. They are all done. Congratulations. So we are getting more and more finishers at the moment.
So there was some Frigig, can you have a look if there were some questions in the chat?
Yes, there were some that were directed to Arkadiusz as well. What one is, do you generally like this type of puzzle? Like if you choose it just for fun?
For fun, it would be amazing. I like illustration type of puzzles, and when colors are clear and nice and vivid, it's uh, than s- better than art puzzle or landscape. But landscapes are best for speed puzzling. I think I have an advantage in this type of images.
Yes. So then you also like these busy puzzles where there's a lot to like grab onto.
Yeah. If that puzzle from today was my first attempt, it would be not so fun. My first approach was over 2 hours, and it was back in January previous year.
Oh yeah.
But each um, um, the next attempt was so promising because the times cut off to 1 hour 8 minutes, then 54 minutes, then 50, then 47, and 42, and 40. I think that after third approach, the time doesn't really go faster, but in, but indeed in this case this rule doesn't apply.
Yes. Well, it is always interesting to see, like, the more your brain gets used to the image and you kind of learn the puzzle pieces, it does always get quicker. It's mostly, I think, mostly your hand movement that like either improves, that can still like win you some time. Then there's another question here, which I think is fun, which is it weird knowing that a lot of people are watching you puzzling? Do you get more nervous doing it, or are you unaffected by it?
I think that I adjusted to that. It's my 10th competition online, and I don't really think about it during the assembling.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something similar to meetings during my work. So maybe live events would be more stressful.
So you have not been to a live event before?
I've been 2 times already,
Okay.
but I think this stress is even motivating.
Yes. The competition pressure can be very, very useful, at least in my experience as well. Like that's the good kind of stress if you actually like what you are doing, which is the case in in this scenario. Yes, I don't really see any more questions directed specifically at you. Michelle, do you still have any question that you would like to ask?
Um, not at the moment, but yeah, I'm really happy to. Oh yeah, I just have one question. What's the biggest puzzle that you've done?
The 40,000 90 years from Ravensburger, Mickey, the true original.
How do you have enough space for it?
I won't have. I just build section by section. It's two bags for 4,000 each,
Mm-hmm.
and it's barely. I have barely space in the table in my dad's place.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we have also seen on the live screen that you have like a kind of flimsy table that moved every time you were moving the pieces. So yeah, you would also have like some kind of puzzle board put down on your table.
Yeah, I have something like foam board.
Mm-hmm.
It's mm, its measurements are so that 2,000 piece puzzle fits perfectly, and I think it's great for this competition because it's enough space to spread out all the 500 pieces
Yes.
and still have a space for the building.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Arcadius, and we'll see you at the next competition. Congratulations on an excellent result today.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
So I'm just going to repeat those who have done. We may have like a top 10 by now. First was Arcadius, second Tobias, third Andrea, fourth Kiara, fifth Lenka, sixth Donique, seventh Inga, eighth Teresa, ninth Victor, 10th Nina, 11th Christian, 12th Steffi. So we've had 12 people finish now. We're at 1 hour and 3 minutes. So let's ask Tobias to join us, our second place finisher for tonight. So congratulations, Tobias. Is your sound on? Yes.
Yes, it looks like it.
Yeah, is this is your type of puzzle, isn't it?
Your microphone might actually not be enabled because we can't hear you. In the meantime, I'm going to make sure that, yes, I'm reading everyone's comments on YouTube and I'm keeping in mind your questions. So like, don't worry. And you can keep them coming. They are very, very useful. They're giving us inspiration.
Yeah, and just a reminder to those who have finished, just to make the job easier for Elena, who's working in the background. If you'd like to continue to listen to the live
Yes.
stream when you've finished your puzzle, please log out from the Google meeting and hop over to YouTube, and we'd love to hear your comments. Just because at the moment there's a lot of people connected and still having the cameras on, and it's a bit harder for her to follow who's actually still puzzling. So just do another check with Tobias.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
There
Sorry
we go.
for that.
All right. So how did you feel when you saw this puzzle tonight?
I felt good because I know it's to my advantage. Even it's not super fun to look at, but it's very fun to puzzle for me. I like the challenge with finding where each of these elements are placed.
Yeah. And so this was your first time to do this puzzle?
Yeah, I was very perplexed by the box because I had no idea what it could be.
So you haven't done any of this kind of Trefl puzzles
No,
before?
I haven't.
Uh-huh.
But it was a fun surprise.
And then what was your basic strategy?
I
Because
know
we
when,
follow it a little bit.
yeah, with this very flat colored pieces, just to pick one color and try to focus, because otherwise it gets pretty blurry when you look at your pile of pieces. So I started with yellow, but I could have picked almost any color, I think. And then when you've done pretty much all of that, you pick another color and so on.
Yeah.
Just have to focus.
Yes. And then a fun question is, did it go quicker or slower than you expected it to go?
Bit quicker, but because they can be really challenging. You never know until you've really done it, even when you see the image. But
Mhm.
it's about where I was thinking, close to
And do
50.
you actually keep track of your time while you are doing the puzzle, or do you just check afterwards?
I just check afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then I'm looking for the other questions for you as well. Well, the other one, which was also pretty fun to talk about, was is it weird knowing that a lot of people are watching? Do you get nervous about competitions in general, be it live or online?
Just a little bit when you know you're in the top position. But I've done quite a lot of competitions now, so I'm getting used to it. So it's fun as well, having that pressure to just try to finish.
Are you also one of those people who actually does better in like the competition situations than in just practice?
A little bit, I think, because you really put that extra last percentage of effort in when it's competition.
Oh yeah. And as you're like nearing the end of your puzzle, like when you see that there's only like a couple of pieces left, does that like freak you out more, or does it actually make you more concentrated? Because that's also something that is always very different with people. I know some
No,
get
that's
completely
the
like mixed up.
hardest part, because that's when you're almost shaking, because you know you just have to do this, but still.
Oh yeah.
And I haven't taped up the table measures for worlds, but I like to have a lot of space, so it's very liberating to just ignore those this time and you just use the table as I wanted. So
Oh yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah, I can see that you have the tape on your table to like try and restrict yourself for the space, but this time you didn't use it, right?
No.
No.
Yes.
One moment, sorry.
Tobias, what is your experience with sharing
I tried
tables in
already.
competitions?
Not very much. I did it in the finals in the Worlds last year, and that went okay. But it's always nice. I will try to get one of those top 8 the table. That would be nice for me to really and spread out your pieces and so on. So I prefer to have a little more space.
Yeah, that also gives like the extra motivation to be super quick because then you get a VIP place.
So how are you? I mean, you were at the Worlds last year, so you have a bit of experience of how it all works and how it, yeah, the experience of having a whole week of puzzling. Did you experience burnout after it? Did you, or have you ever had that experience that you were just puzzling so much or training so much that afterwards you were just exhausted?
You get very exhausted after that week of full puzzling, but the motivation never went away, not for long at least. Maybe a week or so you don't puzzle, but then you want to keep on, because I do it because I really enjoy it as well.
Yeah. And so how are you planning your week? Are you someone who takes like naps in the afternoon, or do you make sure that regardless of what happens that you're in bed at the same time every night? How do you schedule it out so that you can give your best at every competition?
We'll see now that we just got the full schedule, but I will try to rest as much as possible between competitions, because I know that you really need it, especially those last days with a lot of competitions just after one after another. You really have to take any chance of rest that you can get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so do you tend to like only go to the dome for your competition, or do you like watch the one before or the one after, or do you just say like I'm only there for the competition, you go back to the hotel to watch the live stream?
I will watch my sister as well, but other than that, when I'm competing, we will go back to the apartment and watch on the TV instead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. So Frisia, did you have some questions from the chat for Tobias?
I have been scanning and I haven't really seen anything else at the moment. No, nothing else. There is one question of how Quinta is going, but yeah,
She's finished already.
finished already. Good. Yes. Apart from that, I don't see any more comments.
All right.
Yeah. Well, thanks for your time, Tobias. Well done.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So, Steffi B was 12th. Then we had Linda Yukmane was 13th, Quinta 14th, Emilia 15th, Jessie 16th, Yulia H 18th, and Fenna 19th. So we are at 1 hour and 12 minutes and 19 people have finished.
So we are place 20 now.
Yeah, so definitely a lot slower than other competitions. We've often we had like, what was it, marmalades? I think we had like 23 people finish under an hour. So this one is definitely testing people in a different way. So thanks, Andrea, for hanging about. And yeah, 3rd place tonight. But you didn't realize, did you? You were not, I see you always have your AirPods in, so you're not listening to the live stream. You're not aware of where you are compared to the others. Oh, is your microphone on?
There, sorry about that.
Yeah.
No, I listen to music. It makes me really nervous to hear the one time I could hear the chat, and I don't want to know if anyone finished before or how many people finished, in case, you know, I'm really I'm really not doing well. I just don't want to know. So
Yeah,
I have my music on and I can hear just a little bit.
Because I notice in the American competitions as well, you always have something in your ear, and then it's like you finish, and then you take them out, and then they say, "Oh, you're like 1st or 2nd," and then yeah. So you just find out everything once you take them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how was that puzzle for you tonight? Are you familiar with this brand and with this image?
You know, I just looked at my old data. I did a Trefl a little over a year ago that was a photograph of horses, and then I did another Trefl, I think it looked in 2021, that was like a cartoon. So I haven't done any of this like brand or this line, the kind of really nice thick matte pieces, but it reminds me of a cloudberries almost. Both the design and the feel of the pieces. So I love cloudberries. So I don't know if anyone else thought that.
I don't know. I'm
Oh,
familiar with the brand actually. I have never had a Cloudberries puzzle, so I don't have
Yeah.
anything to compare it to.
Yeah, they're made out of England, I think, but you can buy them on Amazon.
Yeah, probably. I'm also one of those people who has to like stop buying puzzles for a little bit so that we can actually fit into the apartment. My husband was basically saying that the only way that I can get new puzzles if I get rid of equally as many.
Yeah.
So yeah, not at the moment, but I have a long list of what brands I would still have to try out.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
how was it for you? So then this was the very first time you have met this puzzle.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really like this puzzle. This is an image I think that I do pretty well on. And I think I was listening to Tobias. Sounds like we might have tackled it in a similar way, although I started with pink, but I kind of just pick out one primary color and then move to the second color. Instead of trying to actually look at the image, I go by color, and just I find that it's easier for me to find a piece from the image on the box and just put it where it goes rather than like trying to have a bunch of the same color and fit them together. I do some people call it pick and place or dead reckoning, but I kind of just build from the image, and then the more I go, the more I can just kind of fill in the blank spots. So this was a pretty good puzzle for that because almost every piece had something recognizable on it that you could find. So it was good for that. I'm curious if that's how Tobias looks at things too.
So then you didn't fall into the trap that some other people have been complaining about before, or not complaining about, but that they have been noticing that like because of there's these blocks of colors all around the puzzle that it seems like one piece could go to like different blocks. So it's hard to like place which color block it exactly belongs to. But then for you, this was completely different.
Yeah. There were some areas too where the colors were separated by black lines, but then some horizontal lines where the pieces were not separated by a black line. I don't know if you could see that. And so you could kind of look sometimes with two colors and orient it in a couple different areas, which helped, I think, once I was thinking about that. And then some of the pieces had like a fade from one color to the other. And it was really easy then to identify when you picked up something that had a kind of a little gradient area. It was very easy to find where that went on the box and then kind of leave it in the position.
Oh yeah. And then did you do the
So,
frame first? We didn't see you do the very beginning. So like you did the frame first, and then you basically based the pieces compared to like where they are in relation to the
yeah.
frame then.
Yeah, that's kind of my golden rule is to build the frame, and then if I set a piece down in the frame, then I don't move it because that's where it goes.
Ah, okay. That's actually very interesting.
Yeah.
It's good to hear.
Yeah. That's how my pair and my team do it also. That's kind of what we've all settled on as like a rule of if someone's thinking, rather than, I mean, you do communicate a lot, but if someone has built something or put a few pieces there, it's because they know that that's where they're going to go, and you don't move them around and you don't clutter the image by working in the middle of the frame either. So you have a lot of pieces piled up, but that's where we use like little trays or things to build off of and then slide it into the frame.
So then you have a pretty like strict space management, so to speak, so that like you have like your arrangement outside, but whatever gets placed inside the frame, that always goes to where it goes.
Yeah. And I don't know if you saw the US pairs competition. It was the small shared table.
Yeah.
And so you had to use a lot of sorting trays.
I have actually watched this a couple of days ago.
Yeah. So my partner and I didn't have, Kelly and I didn't have anything in the frame except for where it belonged. And I think even though it was kind of a mess in the beginning, in the end, it helped because so many people were building and then having to like move pieces after that. And we did have like pieces all jumbled up over each other, but as you worked out of that pile, it just got easier and easier, and everything in that image in the frame was like set to go. And once it was there, we didn't move it, and it kind of worked. So hopefully
That
we
is
can
very
replicate
interesting
that.
to hear. And actually, I read it on the YouTube chat right now that Tobias says that when you describe the puzzle style on the Peace Talks podcast, a lot of it fitted with his style as well. So,
Yeah.
like, you are doing pretty much the same then, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
How
actually have some questions for you from the chat as well that came up. The first one that I spotted was a question about the worlds, if you're doing pairs with your daughter.
I'm not doing them with my daughter. She just started college actually yesterday was her first day, and so she's going to be going to school. But Kelly Walter, who was my partner at US Nationals, is my partner, and we're really excited. We've only puzzled together once since Nationals, and we won't see each other until until we get to Spain. But I think we'll do okay.
And do you still plan to practice when you're already in Spain, or do you just want to enjoy the competition and like kind of rest in between? Like, what is your strategy during the Worlds?
Yeah, I think Kelly and I will try to get some practice in, because like I said, we haven't seen each other, and I try not to get too nervous when I see all the videos of people practicing with their teams and their partners, because we just don't have that opportunity. But I have one race the first day, one race the second day, and then 2 races. So I think that there'll be some time to do some practice. I have a couple Ravensburgers I know are missing a piece, so I might just like cut the image off the box and put it in a bag and bring a couple to do like warm-ups. And I hope I can do be on a team to do the Guinness World Record
Harder to put those
puzzle.
pieces in.
Oh yeah. Do you have a selection going on for that?
There was a form that you could fill out to indicate if you were interested, and I'm not sure how they're going to pick, if they're going to do it random or just find a mix of people. But it would be fun to do.
I think it's quite hard for countries like
Ooh.
US or Germany or Spain to pick the people for the team, because there's more than 100 people, and yeah, you have so many good puzzlers. I'll be participating on the New Zealand team, and it's easy. We only have 10 New Zealanders, so we're all going to be on the world record attempt.
Yeah,
I
actually have a copy of the puzzle, and I was gifted it as a prize last year at Worlds. And it was interesting because it wasn't wrapped and the pieces were just loose in the box. So I think I might have been gifted the puzzle that they actually did at the competition. And then maybe they didn't want to take it back. So I haven't done it yet, but I may bring it, and maybe the US people can do a warm-up practice. I don't know. It'll be hard to puzzle with. I can't imagine how you can fit that many people at a table to try to do that, because there's, I don't know, 10 at a time would be very difficult to have all your hands going.
What's the largest like team or puzzle that you've done with a group of people? How many people have you puzzled with at one time?
4. Just 4. Yeah.
Just 4. Okay.
Never.
Yeah, it is going to be pretty interesting. I have actually just received the email from like the German club. I became a member like this year, and like they are also like collecting applications, and they have like described in the email of how people are going to be selected for the team. So yeah, that's something that we're going to still have to see.
Yeah, and there's more Germans than I think any other country. Is that
There's
true?
so many of them. Yes. I'm actually like, because I'm a Hungarian citizen, but I live in Germany. I'm going to be with the Hungarian team. I don't know how the Hungarian team is doing. I've actually not checked. I'm not sure if I will participate in the world record attempt at all. I don't know yet. So we're going to have to see then.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was still another question about jet lag. if like
Oh.
traveling to Spain, it actually affects you in competing, of how you like tackle jet lag. How much time difference do you have?
Yeah. Well, it's 10 o'clock in the morning here. I don't know how. Are you?
It's 8:30 now here.
Yeah. Is this the same time for you as in Valladolid, or are you another hour off?
I always get
We're-
confused.
We're in the same time zone as
Antwerp is
Spain.
not
Okay.
pink.
Yeah.
You have a completely pink
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
it's-
think it's just there's so much excitement kind of leading into the first one that I'm like ready to go, and then after the first night, I think I slept 10 hours. So like I didn't I didn't sleep very well the few days that I was getting ready to travel, but I think once you get there into the first competition, which I mean it matters, but also it's okay if you're not maybe I don't know. I'm pretty sure I will make it through, so if I'm a little tired, probably I'll do okay, but mostly it's just kind of pushing through the first day or two, and then I can sleep pretty well.
do you arrive a couple of days before the competition, or just?
Yeah, I get into Madrid Tuesday morning, and I'm meeting a friend, and then we'll take the train that afternoon. So,
Oh yeah,
not super in advance, but it's hard to take so much time off, and
yeah, yeah. It is a
but it
challenge.
is nice. Yeah, it is nicer with the days so spread out. Having the extra day, you can really ease into it and just kind of, I don't know, get your have time to get your schedule on track without having to get there a day early to do it.
Oh yeah.
So,
No, I
yeah.
remember like I traveled back and forth between the US a couple of years ago, multiple times because I worked there a little bit. And basically my experience was I was flying from like basically from this time that we are now to New York. So it was not as much difference, but it was still like a 6 hour earlier or something. And I always experienced that like flying there was somehow easier than flying back. So like flying there when it's earlier was somehow easier to cope with because I would just basically take a nap the next day. And then when traveling here, when it's all of a sudden much later, it was always much more of a challenge. I don't know how it is with you, but that was
Yeah,
experience.
I think just the nice thing is I land at 6:30 in the morning, so it's easier to kind of push through the day. Whereas if you land at night and you get into your hotel at midnight, it's really hard to kind of calm down and try to fall asleep. So
Yeah.
hopefully that'll work in my favor. So
Yeah. Well, air travel is always like a challenge. I'm going to be flying pretty late. Like I think I arrive late at night on Monday and I still have the train to take. I think I will get there in like early on Tuesday. But yeah, something like that. It's air travel. At least you can sleep in
yeah,
the plane. What I usually think to myself.
yeah,
Um
yes, and then
yeah, and then basically you have answered the other question that I have already seen in the chat is whether you would want the picture like this to turn up at the Worlds or not.
I would love it.
Yeah, you were already saying that you love this type of puzzle. So
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's yeah.
The only kind of puzzle I really don't like are gradient puzzles. Yeah, I like photography. I like a busy puzzle like this. I'm not a fan of just pure gradients because they're so fast, and I'm not really. I mean, yeah, I think I like to do the edge. I like to kind of think a little bit before I start. And with a gradient puzzle, you just have to like dump the pieces, and it feels like start assembling them. And so I'm less excited about a gradient, but I don't know that they'll have that. Yeah, Ravensburger doesn't do just like pure gradients. They usually mix it up a little bit, so
Oh, the
hopefully
only
that's okay.
the only really gradient ones that I can think of are these crypt puzzles. I'm not sure if you have
Yeah.
had those in your hand already. Like those that have like the very weird, like distinct shape
Yeah,
of the pieces. And then from that, they maybe have some like very pure gradients. But other than that, I can't think of any
Yeah.
either. Also, if I think
a
about
couple.
like what you have explained about like the pick and place, method that also doesn't work as well with the gradient because it can like, go into an entire row.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I've done a couple of the gradients,
What
the
a
solid
hard
ones, not the
puzzle.
rainbow, and I've had enough.
Oh my
that.
god.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah,
I
I think
didn't like
you
those.
do one or two
That
of them,
was
and
so
then that's enough. I
hard.
also had 2 of them, the gold and the black, and that's it. No more. No, thank you.
Oh, jeez. My back.
And so, yeah.
So, Andrea, I had a question for you.
Hey,
Since you've been
Sage. Your
to
first ever
different
meter
competitions,
shard from the
obviously the
ship, then they say
nationals and
spend
the
the rest of the
worlds, and
league to
also
get
some
20 of them.
regional
Now
ones,
at 20.
like there
Nice.
will be some people who will be
Oh, at
attending the
8.
worlds, and that will be their first in-person competition. What advice would you give to them?
Doctors,
Like,
yeah.
what things should they bring with them? How should they
Oh
prepare?
god, man.
Like, what things on the day that you think, oh, I wish I had done that, or I should have thought of
Let's
that.
see. Let's count how many people finished.
What
That
advice
this
do you
is
think?
definitely not my best performance.
One thing I've been reminding people is like once you leave the
1,
house, you
2,
probably can't find an
3,
outlet. So
4,
find a portable charger
5,
for
6,
your
7,
AirPods and your phone because
8,
there's so many people in the
10, 11, 12.
in the dome. So I've have my portable chargers because I need to have my music.
15,
If my AirPods ran out, I would be bummed, or if your phone ran
1,
out.
22, 23, 24,
For the US people,
25,
you need to
26,
start making sure you
27,
have all
28,
your
29,
adapters and things like that
30,
because that's not
31, 32,
something I thought
33,
about early enough
34.
last time. I was kind of
Okay, so
scrambling with my
I'm in
suitcase
5th place.
to
35th place.
get all that together. We're also bringing things like Ziploc bags to put your pieces in, so when you pack them
Oh
up, they don't
gosh.
fall
That was
around and
rough.
get
It is kind of like
lost in the
sticky.
shuffle, and you can
Like
kind
you
of
could
stack
not
boxes
slide the
inside of each
they
other if
don't
you have
slide
them,
very well on the puzzle. So sometimes I was struggling to put them in also,
carefully
but
sealed.
I mean,
Sorry,
other
so to
than
save
that,
space,
Jesus
you take them
Christ.
out of the boxes.
Let's log our time.
Yeah, you can like a 1000 Ravensburger, you can put the pieces into a bag and then put a 500 inside of that box, and then either put the pieces like in a pouch of your suitcase, or sometimes you depending on the box and how
Wow,
you
it's so
them, so
sad
you
though.
don't have to put I mean, you can in 1,000 piece
I
box.
struggle at the edge. I
could have 2
found
puzzles, so
quite easy to make, but the rest.
I bought a duffel bag on
This was
Amazon last year that would fit
Trefl.
5 1,000 pieces, and I was able to put 10 puzzles in it because I could put the 500s inside, and then the extra
What's
pieces
the
that
name
didn't
of
fit in the
this
box
puzzle?
in a Ziploc
This
bag in the
puzzle.
little
What's the
side
name of this
pocket.
puzzle? It's such a shame
So
about
it
the
was
box.
heavy.
Look at
Does
this.
that make sense?
Yeah, no, I think that's
Look
a really
how
good
rough it
point
was.
because,
The stickers were
well,
they are
especially for
so
those coming
sticky.
from outside of Europe and have, further ways to travel, and of course, limited baggage space. I think it's a really good idea because one of the things is you are going to collect puzzles. Like, how many puzzles did you come home with last time?
Well, I had my daughter
Dutch
was going
welfare
back,
state is the name of the puzzle. Okay.
to school. She was in boarding school, and so I had to bring both of our puzzles,
Okay.
which was a lot.
So you got expert at packing
Yeah,
puzzles
so
for
we had,
maximum space.
Time?
I don't know. And then we had
Let's see.
we both made the podium twice, and I made the podium
it
3
was so
times. So
bad.
then we were gifted like another 3 or 4 puzzles. So I had a lot. I did give a few away,
Oh gosh.
but it was a lot.
Go to results.
Still haven't actually done all of
The
them.
bias did it in
There were quite
46
a few
minutes.
3,000
Dang,
piece
these people are
puzzles, and I
so
don't
fast.
haven't
Honestly,
had a
like,
table that I could
I
do
don't
a
know.
3,000
It's just
piece puzzle
crazy.
on.
True. So if you make the podium, you might come back with a 3,000 piece puzzle as well, which just takes up even more space. So keep that
Did
in
45
mind.
minutes
So
slower than the
empty space to bring
fastest
back
person.
the competition
And the fastest
puzzles.
person, actually, let's
Yeah.
check. Fastest person in this competition?
Yeah, and I did buy, I
see.
measured the size of a 1,000 piece puzzle and found, I don't have it here, but an inexpensive duffel bag from Amazon.
7. The first one was 26
put it
minutes.
in my suitcase so I didn't have to carry the bag.
The next one was 7:40.
Have it ready to go depending on
in 26 minutes somebody
what you
finished.
come home with or what you want to carry. The square boxes don't fit quite as easily. You can't stack them in anything. So it sounds like people suspect we'll get at least 1 round puzzle. So
yeah, but that's a really good point. Yeah, so the Ziploc bags as well. So there's reusable plastic bags to put the puzzles are not only so that they're not loose in the box, but that you could even pack them in your luggage without the box. I think that's a really good point. And what you said about the charges as well, of course, because many people will be
wow.
yeah, taking a lot of pictures, videos,
this puzzle was
using
so
it as a
hard.
timer.
I don't know.
Maybe some people are filming
How
themselves
did
for time
somebody did it in
lapses, and yeah,
26 minutes?
you want to have your own portable power source, otherwise everyone will be like waiting around with a few sockets to
crazy.
do a charge. So that's it's a very good point. And of course, for those coming
I'm gonna
outside
take a
of Europe,
picture.
or I haven't even checked if Spain has the same outlet as Germany. That's a very good point.
Oh
I'm going to
gosh,
check that.
that's crazy.
Check that
Anyways,
you have the right
we finished the puzzle in
adapter.
I mean, I don't even
for
actually
your
this is not the
electronics.
time limit for
Yeah,
1
no, it's really
hour
cool.
30
yeah,
is
you
not
need-
the time limit
but,
for
you know.
worlds anymore.
Little
Actually,
things
it's
can
1
become
hour
big things.
15
Yeah,
for the finals. It's
great.
1 hour 15
Yeah,
the
any
time
other
limit.
comment you want to tell
So
us about preparing for the Worlds, or what somebody might
Yeah.
who's going there for the first time should know?
This was very
Just to
poor.
have fun.
I mean,
It's
I
so
don't know.
fun.
I don't know.
You know,
I don't know what I've done. Could have done differently.
never. I think my world. That was my
Yeah, I
first
just don't
competition last
know.
year. That I attended in person, and so, well, other than a little one at a bar, but
Dang, the edge was the easiest
you know, it
part
kind
of
of
this
changed.
puzzle,
Like I met
surprisingly.
so many people that I
guess I
keep in
could
touch
have
with all
gone
the
for
time,
this
even, like,
yellow, but I don't know.
on this
I
chat, or
was
you know,
struggling
people
to just figure
that
out
I've met,
where they
Kiara,
were because they're so
or Hannah, or other
geometrical.
people that now I
Holy
know,
moly.
and it's just fun. I think people.
Anyways,
It
that's a good
changes
puzzle.
your
I
life
have to go
kind of
walk Mia now
by
because it's so late.
having made these
Thanks so much for
connections
watching,
and being part
guys.
of a
I'll see you
community, so,
tomorrow for more puzzling
yeah, just
competitions.
to
By the
enjoy
way,
it
we
and
have
have
another
fun.
puzzling competition tomorrow.
Yeah, no, that's
With two
that's really good.
puzzles,
And because
two
I just had a
puzzles.
moment, like I did
So,
some really hard
yeah, see you
puzzles
guys
recently,
tomorrow.
and
Bye.
I was kind of like, oh, I have to train for the Worlds. I have to train for the Worlds.